YouTube audience, you know who it is. I'm back, baby. The Atheist Killer back with another video. I had to do it. Check it out. When I first started making YouTube videos, I made a huge mistake. I know it's crazy. Atheist Killer admitted he made a mistake because it rarely happens. But when I first started making these videos, I did make a huge mistake. I assumed. And when you assume things, you make an ass out of yourself. You see, I assumed that the people watching my videos would be honest, logical, and intelligent enough to understand my arguments without me having to go into explicit details. But since I was a rookie YouTuber, I started making videos that were very quick and to the point. But obviously, I left out a lot of valuable information. So soon after I launched my channel, a lot of rebuttals quickly started flowing in. I was confused because I knew all my arguments were sound and valid. So after thinking about it, I realized what the problem was. Since I assumed the majority of people are smarter than they actually are, I hadn't gone into enough detail to tie up all the loose ends with my videos. And it left open a lot of room for questioning. Quite frankly, it made all of my videos very easy to be debunked. You see, even if you have a strong, valid argument, if you don't explain it correctly in enough detail, it's going to appear to be flawed. So, during my filling out process, I had, with making my videos, there's this one YouTuber in particular that developed a pretty intense crush on me and the videos that I was making. His name? Anonamouse7. Anonamouse7 had a huge crush on me. So yeah, this dude's name is Anonamouse7, but I like to just call him Mrs. Fings. Why do I call him Mrs. Fings? Well, I call him Mrs. Fings because the dude cannot pronounce words that start with TH. Anyways, it's funny, I know. This mental midget made numerous response videos to all, I think all of them, I'm not sure, to all of my first generation attempts. I think he has more than 15 or 16 of them. But as I explained earlier, my initial videos were very poorly done, not detailed enough, and left a lot to be desired. All of those weak early videos have since been thrown out, deleted, and have been redone. At no time did I ever abandon any of my arguments, and all of my current videos are just more in-depth versions of the old ones. So anyways, this sad, lonely little man who refuses to show his face on camera, Mrs. Fings, decided to keep all his response videos up to my old videos. He still has them up right now to this day. Why does he do this? Because he's an intellectual coward. He wants to make himself think he's smart when really he's been owned over and over again via email exchanges with me. Anyways, the fact of the matter is Mrs. Fings could not beat his way out of a wet paper sack in a debate. He's sad. But what would you expect from someone who has no friends, lives with his mom and dad, and refuses to have a live one-on-one debate in a public venue against me, the AK? What's AK stand for? Fings? Atheist Killer, man. I will destroy you. That's probably why you're scared to debate me. So, yes, I'm the guy who's killing atheism all around the world, and Mrs. Fings readily knows this. So, enough toying with this poor little boy. The real issue here with Mrs. Fings is that he has no evidence for any of his weak, ignorant, pathetic assertions. Yet, he still claims that he likes science. Which is so funny because he has major breakdowns and fails with basic logic. Come on, man. It's sad. Look, Mrs. Fings, he has no evidence that something can come from pure nothingness. He has no evidence that space and time are eternal, or that is a rational, logical, somehow valid stance. He says asinine things like redshifts are proof that a singularity can create entire universes. No, they're not. They're proof that the universe is expanding and that it had a starting point. It's not evidence for what that starting point was. Come on, things. There's no evidence that a super condensed pinpoint of energy can create entire universes. And don't forget, Mrs. Fings, our universe is the subject that we're talking about. So that's not considered evidence, bro. You see, Mrs. Fings likes to make the claim that the uncreated creator is not the only logical option, because he says the universe could have come from a created creator that was created by an uncreated creator. But you see, all he's doing is he's pushing the argument back a step, because at some point Mrs. Fings is forced to accept an ultimate uncreated creator, really just reinforcing my argument and making me, the AK, even stronger. Is that possible? Anyways, I thank you for that, Mrs. Fings. Thank you. So then, the crazy, lonely little man, Mrs. Fings, he says, okay, I'm just gonna ditch my argument. And you know what he does? He runs away and attempts to make the claim that there could be multi-universes. Have you ever heard an ignorant atheist make this claim? Yeah, President Obama could have a pet dragon tied up in an undisclosed location too. He could. I mean, I just love those could be arguments that have zero evidence. They are truly the best. They're number one in my book, baby. But seriously, his claim would again only push the argument back further. Why? Because I'm gonna ask you like this. Then where did the multi-universes come from? And furthermore, multi-universe theory falls under STE or SCP-NCEU, depending on how it is that you want to break it down, which means it's illogical, irrational, and has, guess what? Everybody repeat after me. It has, guess what? Zero evidence. That's why you guys are so funny to me, man. So, Mrs. Fings likes to make the claim that there is nothing before the Big Bang, that the Big Bang caused everything, all the space, time, energy, whatever. This is clearly untrue, Fings, because for a singularity like the one in the Big Bang model to even exist, it had to have occupied some form of space itself before it expanded. Therefore, Fings, there was space and time before the Big Bang. Because remember, time in the Elliott argument is defined as if there's any events happening or if there's any space, defined in the broadest sense. Simple. Apparently not simple for Mrs. Fings. He still don't get it. So, Mrs. Fings, now tell me where that space came from that the singularity existed in. And then tell me where that pinpoint of energy came from. And then I will show you that the Big Bang model also falls under STE or SCP-NCEU, again, once we break it down to its foundation. You knew it was coming. You just had to wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Yes, I win again. So then he likes to make the claim that time does not exist in a black hole. Another classic amateur mistake. While it's true that clocks and watches would not work in a black hole and no information can escape a black hole, Mrs. Fings, that doesn't mean physical time or the concept of time would not be happening. You see, time only ceases to exist in the absence of events and the absence of space. And events would be happening and there would also be space. Also, if I were able to survive inside a black hole, which I would not, but if I could have rational thoughts there, not only would that be more events happening, but more than likely I would be able to estimate about how long I was there. The long list of nonsense and ridiculous attempts at rescuing devices this guy uses are enough to just numb. I'm talking about just numb your brain. And you just get sick and tired of it. Like, I cannot hear him anymore. He just goes on and on and on and on and on. He's the king of unfounded, baseless assertions that have zero evidence and zero logic. That's what kills you. I really feel like that the poor kid, he just likes to hear himself talk. Because people that have no friends and no lives sometimes feel comfort from the sound of their own voice. And I think that's you, Things. But personally, I've grown tired of your little circus act. Attempting to dress up bad arguments and flawed logic with pretty editing will not bring you any closer to the truth. You see, God teaches us not to throw pearls at swine. And the AK has been throwing pearls at this guy for way, way, way too long. It's simply impossible to force logic onto someone who is being intentionally dishonest and intentionally illogical. So for that, Mrs. Things, you're now in my WOT list. What's that stand for? That's my waste of time list, man. I'm done with you. I'm officially wiping my hands clean of you, and I'm gonna let you run along and play with the rest of your atheist coward friends that are too scared to debate me. You see, much like Sarita Pukey, I meant Yuki, I call him Pukey because he needs to do some push-ups. Instead of accepting my ongoing debate challenge that I have for atheists all over the world, Mrs. Things outrightly refuses to debate me. Everyone, do you hear this? This is a true fact. He refuses to debate me on the Elliot argument. And instead, much like Pukey, he tried to invent his own challenge. I wonder why that is, guys. Probably because you guys are scared as hell of being put into my zoo. I mean, I don't fault you for that, Mrs. Things. At least you can recognize a demolition when it's at your front door. But what I don't like is that you claimed I don't debate atheists, but rather I interrogate them. Which I really find comical, because if you're an atheist and you have nothing to hide and you want to make a stand for your position, then you shouldn't mind a little bit of interrogating. What are you scared of, man? But beyond that, the truth is, a debate is defined as a method of interactive and representational argument. Debate is a broader form of argument than logical argument, which only examines consistency from axiom. Though logical consistency, factual accuracy, and some degree of emotional appeal to the audience are important elements of the art of persuasion, in debating, one side, my side, often prevails over the other side by presenting a superior context, which I always do, and framework of the issue. Yes, it's not, I mean, what I do is debate. But if you're too weak to stand up to my rules or my framework, then that's your problem, coward. But don't say I don't debate people, that I only interrogate them. I actually play defense most of the time and let you guys dig your own hole and just answer your guys' question. I only have a few rules. So the fact that you're scared to debate me really just is another feather in my cap and proves, again, the Elliot argument remains undefeated. It's funny, man. So look, Mrs. Things, God bless you, brother. I look forward, it's not going to happen, but I look forward to maybe someday in the future you accepting my atheist challenge and accepting to debate the atheist killer. Or if you're not going to do that, at least one time, just one time for me, show your face, man, in one of your videos. Quit being a coward, man. Quit being a coward. Show your face in just one video. Come on. Your mom and dad won't be mad at you, man. You could do it. Until then, welcome to my zoo, Miss Things. Have fun playing with the rest of the atheist cowards who already live there. I love y'all, man. I'll see you soon. I'm out with Atheist Killer. Another atheist owned. His name, Anonamouse7. See ya. Peace.